I'm Grady Collane in the CapeCod.com News Center with some follow-up election coverage. Ballot question 6, which was unique to the Cape and Islands region, would have put more power in the Assembly of Delegates' control over the annual budget and a couple of other extra things related to funding. That did not succeed. Voters did say no to that measure. I'm talking with Mark Forrest, Barnstable County Commissioner. I want to ask a little bit more about what was the problem that ballot question was trying to solve? Is that issue still around? You guys have kind of mentioned that there's a charter review process that kind of would have kind of examined a little bit more about how to possibly change over what stuff the Assembly does or doesn't control. And you'd also mentioned previously how it seems the Assembly is kind of pushing more towards this Congress-like approach. Can you elaborate more for us?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that one of the things that we learned from this whole debate on question 6 is sort of where the Assembly's coming from. And they want to see the county legislature being treated more like the Congress. And that's not really the model that the framers of the charter used in creating county government. The model they're using is local government. The framers of the charter envisioned the Assembly to be like a town meeting and to operate accordingly. And they envisioned and laid out in the charter the role for the county commissioners to be more like a board of selectmen. So in many respects, the powers of the respective bodies are very similar to, the powers that you see in local government. So the county commissioners' powers are very similar to the executive powers in local government. The Assembly's powers are very similar to town meeting powers in local government. So what they did was that in the charter, they laid it out as sort of the model to follow. But clearly what we learned in this debate is a desire to sort of change that. And again, the commissioners feel that that's an important discussion to have as part of the Charter Commission. It shouldn't be done this way by just one body going and putting a ballot question on the ballot and putting that debate out there for the voters. We should really have, that's why we have charter commissions. That's why the charter itself has a provision in it to go through a very deliberative process to consider changes. And part of that deliberative process involves creating a charter commission committee, a review committee that includes key stakeholders, particularly local boards of selectmen, and it invites the public to participate in it. And in many cases, as we've seen in the past, the charter review process is often an opportunity to educate the citizenry at large and other local officials that may be new to government, to educate them on exactly what the county does and engages the public in the discussion on some of the things that they think may need to be improved. So these charter reviews are baked into our charter. The charter requires every 5 years to do a charter review. The last one, was not done for reasons that I'm not going to go into. But these are supposed to be initiated by the Assembly for whatever reasons. I think COVID may have had something to do with it the last time it should be in place. But it's long overdue. We're looking to get this going next year, and it's going to be important. And I think to some degree this debate will play itself out in that next process. But it's important to have it done in a very open and transparent way so people can understand if indeed there are changes that are being proposed and show up on the ballot. There's an administrative record. There's a clear body of information that people can look at, review, have access to if they'd like, to better understand why any changes are being proposed and the reasons for them. So, we expect a fairly robust charter review process, and this would certainly be a welcome debate in that forum, and obviously we expect that to happen.
Are there actually other things that you guys were interested in possibly changing about the charter yourselves in the next charter review process, or is it just from the Assembly that most of the changes were proposed?
No, I think, again, to do this right, you want to have one of the key stakeholders that you have at the table is your council. Each municipality has its own town council, town attorney that provides legal guidance to individual municipalities. Well, at the county, we have a county council. Usually, county council is very familiar with municipal law and municipal government, We have a county council that's very familiar with both county government and municipal government. And our own county council has identified a whole range of issues that really need to be looked at. And I think, quite frankly, we're at a very critical moment in terms of Cape's history. What other things that should we be doing? We have to ask the question, what other things do we need to really look at that we can play a role in helping our towns address? The county has stepped up and played a very active role in dealing with wastewater. But we've got, climate change, sea level rise. Each of the towns are going to be called upon to play an active role in dealing with coastal resiliency and mitigation measures and other strategies to deal with climate change. Does that require some support and help from the county? I honestly think we need to look at the financing of county government. County government has been running in a structural deficit for many years, and that's going to continue. And so we need to look at that and how we pay for these services. Most of the services that we provide are services that benefit the municipalities, and so we've got to figure out a way to sort of build a stronger financial relationship with them. We have some other programs that we may need to expand. For example, with sea level rise, we know there's going to be a need for more beach nourishment. I'm not sure we have enough equipment and support available to provide the kind of help that the towns need in that regard. There are other areas that we need to take a look at as well in terms of housing. Do we have sufficient capacity on Cape Cod to deliver the kind of affordable housing that we so desperately need here? Our regional housing authorities or our local housing authorities, have been, heavily challenged with inadequate federal and state resources coming to them to help them in terms of their mission. So might there be other ways we can help build capacity, at the local level and with nonprofits to help them create more of an inventory of affordable housing? And that's our big challenge. It's creating inventory. It's creating units. The state of Massachusetts has set aside a significant amount of funding, and so we're going to have a window of opportunity in which to take advantage of it. And I think a question that is certainly worth asking and discussing is whether or not there's more that we can do at the county level to help build and develop an inventory of affordable housing. So I think those are some of the sort of forward-looking, future-looking issues and challenges that we need to take a look at and ask ourselves whether or not we can do a better job with county government in responding to them, because clearly many of these issues are big challenges for the towns. And one of the things that we're good at doing at the county level is providing support and technical assistance to the towns and helping them address the challenges that they're already wrestling with and facing. So I think this can be a very exciting initiative in doing a charter review that both looks at all of the legal issues that the county council has already identified that we need to address, as well as being forward-looking and trying to address some of the challenges that we're facing as we go forward.
While I have you as well, do you do you want to do a quick reaction to like how the election has gone? Most of our incumbents have just been voted back in office with the addition of Thomas Moakley and Hadley Luddy. Has that been good news for Barnstable County, you feel? You had a good positive relationship with the incumbents already?
Well, I think what we learned in this election is that the delegation is held together. We have obviously some new faces, but they did very well in their races. Oftentimes when we address issues on the Cape, we don't necessarily look at them and address them through a party lens. Most of the work that we do together really transcends party. We're very focused on working together, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or a vegetarian or a libertarian, whatever your affiliation, we all come together and work together on behalf of Cape Cod. And that's going to continue. And it's great having some new blood and having some new energy and enthusiasm, different perspectives. That can always be helpful. But we're very much looking forward at the county to be a resource and an ally working with the legislative delegation and addressing many of the challenges that we face here on Cape Cod.